So that it's something that can be helpful. Really, it's lower abdominal muscles. So we've got these different layers of our abdominal muscles, and the one that we're going to work on is the surface layer. So it's the six-pack. I'm not going to guarantee a six-pack here. This isn't six-pack abs, but the idea is that that six-pack of muscle, they connect from the base of your sternum to your pubic bone, and it is right under the skin. And when it flexes, it pulls your rib cage and your pelvis together. So that's the movement. Now, I am not a big fan of sit-ups. They are not actually recommended for people over a certain age, myself included, because it puts too much pressure on the discs in the spine. So what we're going to try to do is create a torso position, either slightly reclining in the chair or down on the floor, where the lower back is touching something. So if you want to sit, I'm going to suggest, and I do not have the greatest chair for this because, as you guys know, my chair does not have a back at the base, but I'm going to stick a pillow. This is just a sort of round, long pillow, but it's pretty firm. Or you can take a rolled up towel, roll it up really, really tight, and put that right in the bottom of your seat. Now, the way that my seat is built, it has these bars on the side. So this still is not going to be really great because it's not giving me a whole lot of butt space. I've got like 4 inches to put my rear end on, which is probably not going to feel great, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm trying to think if I have another prop that I could use that would work better. I don't think so. I'm going to turn myself sideways so you guys can see a little bit better. Now, if you want to lay down with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Feel free to put something under your head, something small. The very first part of this is going to be us trying to get into the breathing pattern. So you can also lay on your bed. If you're going to lay on your bed, lay all the way on your bed and put your feet on the ground. Put your feet on the surface of the bed as well. So the reclining position is this, on the surface of the bed or on the floor. Knees bent, feet down. Put your hands right here on your belly. I'll get you started in this position. So if you're in your chair, lean up against whatever you've got behind your back, put your feet on the floor and your hands on your belly. As you breathe in, we're just going to start to rock the pelvis. So on the breath in, allow space to come underneath the lower back. So your tailbone goes down, your waist comes up. On your breath out, push your feet down and pull like you're zipping up your pants zipper. Pubic bone zips up to navel and you push your back flat. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, belly in, flatten the back. This is the basic movement that we're going to add things to, basically using our limbs as weight. Okay, now the first pattern here, and I'll come back up on the floor. It's easier for me to talk if I'm not lying down. I feel kind of like I'm choking when I'm lying down. So this little spacer is basically so that your lower back has something to push against. So you would be more like this. Inhale, a little bit of arch. Exhale, this time zip up the belly, flatten the back, pick up your right foot. Land on the inhalation. At the end of the inhalation, relax the stomach muscles. Exhale, push belly in, lift up your left foot. So the whole time your foot is elevated, you're using your stomach muscles. Inhale, land it, then relax. Exhale, belly in, back flat, right foot lifts. Go maybe a little bit higher. Inhale, land, relax the stomach muscles. Feel free to take a breath between. Exhale, belly in, back flat, left foot goes a little higher. Inhale, land, then relax the stomach muscles. Now, if you're like me and you're sitting in your chair, I'm already feeling this in my neck. So after about 3 or 4, I'm just going to let my head relax back into my hands just to keep my upper back from getting aggravated. If you're on the floor, you probably don't need to do that. If you're on the floor, if you want to take a break, you can do a little windshield wiper knees, wide feet and lift the knees, rock from side to side. That works well too. Now we're going to add things into that pattern. So that's the basic pattern. The first thing we're going to add is as we lift our foot up, just watch first. If we go higher, it actually makes it easier. But if you take your foot further away, it actually makes it harder, makes your leg heavier. So we're gonna start to kick out instead of lifting up. Okay, here we go. Inhale. Relax the stomach muscles. Exhale, zip up, back flat, and kick the right foot out a little bit further. Inhale, land and relax the stomach. Exhale, belly in, back flat, left foot kicks forward. Inhale, land, then relax. Make sure you're not relaxing until your foot comes back down. Exhale, belly in, back flat, right foot kicks forward. As you inhale, land, then relax. Exhale, belly in, back flat, left foot kicks, kind of swing it out. Inhale, land, and then relax. All right, and a little break. I would say if you can get 2 or 3 in before you take a little break, that works well. Now, if you're on the floor, what you can do is take that leg anywhere from, so let me show you again from this position so it makes a little bit more sense. The angles are different. From this position where your knee is over your hip and your shin is parallel to the floor, anywhere between there and almost all the way down to the ground. This is why laying on the back is much more effective for this exercise, because you're getting a lot more load on those lower abs from the weight of the leg. When you sit, some of the load is actually taken away. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. It's just you have to do a lot more of the chair variations than you would have to do of the floor or bed variations. Okay. Now, let me do one more thing before I get up. So you can, I would say when I was giving this as PT, they said, do it until your stomach is tired. And it literally, I could do about 10 when I started. And the reason why the belly muscle strength is so important for lower back health is because this is that earth, right? This is that, let's hold ourselves in so that the position of the pelvis is happy. What you can also do is add the opposite arm up and over the head. So what if you raise your arm up over your head, no matter where you are, that encourages you to arch your back. So you're having to fight against that by keeping your back flat as you lift your arm, and your opposite foot can either come here or it can again go anywhere between there and all the way down to the floor. So the pattern again would be exhale, belly in, back flat, right leg, left arm, keep your back on the floor. Higher is easier, lower is harder. Inhale, land, and relax. We want to relax between times, because if you just sat there and held, and started doing all this stuff, it's not going to strengthen your muscles as fast as if you relax the muscle, contract the muscle, relax, contract. We want there to be that pattern in there. Okay, so the pattern again, one more time. Exhale, belly in, back flat, other arm and leg. On the inhale, land. Once it lands, relax. Exhale, contract, opposite arm and leg. Inhale, land, and relax. So let's try to do 3 or 4 more, whatever position you ended up in. If you're sitting in the chair, it's going to look more like this. You're still leaning kind of back. It would just go kick out and raise straight up over the head. Don't go way behind your head. Inhale, relax. Exhale, contract, other side. And you can still kind of go down a little further if you want to, down toward the floor. Inhale, land, soften. Exhale, engage and reach. Use your other foot. Inhale, land and soften. Exhale, engage and reach. Inhale, land and soften. Do one more on your own speed. All right, now if you are on the bed or floor, widen your feet, side to side knees. If you're in the chair, let's open up the front of the body. You're going to do a little back bend up and over the chair. Wide shoulders, wide elbows. Settle the sit bones deep into the seat so you feel that nice stretch of the belly muscles as well. And then bring yourself to the center. I'm going to bring myself all the way up off of my little spacer that I put back there and move that. Oh, didn't make it. And then let me turn around this way. Okay, so that is what I have found over many years of doing this kind of stuff, the safest way to get the lower stomach muscles to get strong fast. You will find that if you want to add this into your exercise routine, especially something that you might do at home on your own, you will be able to increase how many you can do before the muscles fatigue at a pretty rapid rate, actually. So, you try to do 10, and then the next day try to do 12, and just start to slowly amp it up. There is a tendency for many of us when we don't have a lot of control over our stomach muscles, and we lose that so fast. We really have to keep up with it because, think about most of the time when you're doing your daily activities, you don't use your stomach muscles for much, unfortunately. When we bend over, gravity pulls us down, right? When we stand up, our back muscles do it. Really, only time we're going to use those stomach muscles is like maybe if we have to sit up from a reclining position or get up out of a chair a little bit, but they're not really that used, not nearly as much as our legs muscles, our shoulder muscles are. So it's something we have to keep up with. But give that a try. So let's move now from strengthening those stomach muscles to getting a little bit into the hips, because the hips do relate to lower back. As we all know, if we have a hip issue, we tend to have back issues more often. So go ahead and hook your hands around your right shin. And I'm going to lift up, see if you can balance. I'm not leaning against my chair yet. I mean, if you need to do, but I'm kind of holding myself up, almost like my body is between my thigh and my torso, it's like a little bit of a V shape. And then go ahead and let your back settle onto the chair and bring that knee in a little bit closer to the abdomen. Keep holding the shin, and we're going to guide it into a circle. So I'm just going to drop it in toward the middle, down and out, and then in, down, out, and up. And one more time, in. I'm really trying to do this by pushing into my shin with my hands as much as I can. And then back into the center. Switch the hands to the back of the leg. Allow the thigh to drop down a little further and press the other foot into the floor. And let's just swing this foot back and forth a few times. And then hold, heel about toes knee height, maybe, if that's possible. Good. And then go ahead and relax that leg straight down. We're going to let the opposite hand go behind the head just to provide support, and let the same side hand now reach up and over the head. So get a long line all the way down that side of your body. Zip up that lower abdomen. So I'm tucking my tailbone toward the back of my thigh. And then slowly release the foot, slowly release the arm. I split a little forward in my seat, so I'm going to slide back. Other side, hold the shin first. Just let the thigh slightly bring you off of your chair, and you're going to lift up through the abdomen, lift up taller, like you're trying to make your torso grow toward the crown of your head. And then go ahead and go back to the chair, bring it close. And let's circle in, down, out, and close. So I guess that's going to seem like clockwise to you guys. And center, hold here, drop the thigh, and kick the foot. So you still use your belly. And hold. Push the other foot into the floor. Good, and then release. Same side hand goes up, opposite hand goes behind the head. Slide the hips, tuck that tail under, and lengthen through that side of your body. So we alternate strengthening and stretching, or closing those, flexing and extending basically of those spine muscles. And then bring it back down. I'm going to slide my hips back again, arm can come off. And then sit up just a little bit further in your chair so you've got some space. Bring your feet about body's distance apart, and we're going to rotate the thigh bones. Hold on to the chair, and I'm on the front edge so that as I draw my knees wide, it doesn't hurt my outer leg. It doesn't push up against the seat. I'm going to draw the knees open. You might feel a stretch on the inner thigh. And then use, okay, so when we do this, the tendency is to let the belly hang out. Pull in with your navel, draw the knees up to neutral, and then rotate the thighs inward. The feet might even need to go further apart. Your ankle is pretty much straight. Keep the belly lifted, knees to the center or vertical rather, and then relax out. Try not to hang the belly down. So you're not overarching your back there. And then center and sweep them all the way into abduction and well, this is actually internal and external rotation, not adduction. And you just notice, how does it feel in your buttocks and your legs to do these two motions? It might be different on the two sides. I know mine is. And then pause. Now I'm almost off my chair, so I'm just going to slip back just a little so I feel that support. I'm going to bring my feet right underneath my knees. The knees are still wide and kind of a V shape. Take your right hand and hold the chair leg or the chair seat. Take your left hand and go straight up over your head. And again, don't let your belly hang forward. Lift up through the abdomen. And we're going to do our side bend with wide knees today. So I probably don't want to go quite as far over. But I'm going to press the right hand into the chair and open that very bottom waist down here. And then go ahead and release back to the center. Switch your hands. Let this other arm come straight up. Lift up through the belly and over. Keep your right hip down on the chair and open the bottom of the waist. Those quadratus lumborum muscles are key. There's the muscles in the very smallest part of your waist are almost always included when we have back pain. Good, and lift up and release. Okay, keeping the knees wide. Now let your left hand go to your right knee. And as you do that, can you slightly press out on this knee? Not with your hand, just with your thigh. I'm going to turn, stay in the center of your torso. Don't lean to the side. Lift and turn those belly muscles. Now we're activating the oblique muscles. Getting a good inner thigh stretch, hopefully. Spin the head back to the front or back, even looking toward that thigh. Feel how the torso is going in one direction and the head is going in the other direction. Let's take the front hand and sweep, lift up through the belly before you move your arm. Sweep up and over to the other side. Okay, find center for a breath. And then let's go up and over to the other side. And remember, we're not going to lean over the thigh. We're going to stay right in the middle. Press out into your right leg. Lift and turn your waist. Turn your shoulders. Try not to force. And then spin your head back the other direction. You can even kind of look over your shoulder if that doesn't hurt your neck. So feel the counter twisting that's going on here. Always so good for our brain when we do these counter twists. All right, find your sit bones, find your belly, reach up and around. Okay, now I'm going to hold the knees. Let's see, you can either do this kind of a motion, hands on the knees and elbows out, or you can do this kind of a motion. We're going to lean forward. Elbows are going to stay wide, knees are going to stay wide. The direction of movement is forward with the body and backward with the hips. So lift your belly and kind of send your thighs into the seat. And keep your shoulders nice and easy here. Keep your head in line with your shoulder blades. Don't drop your head too far down. In other words, press down into the feet evenly. Okay, one more twist while we're here. Carefully though, slide your right forearm. Lift your belly first. Slide your right forearm along the knee. So your hand is going to end up on the knee. And we're just going to slightly turn, maybe like a quarter turn, just slightly turn. This is for the ribs, just opening up the rib cage. And look to the side. And then again, lift up through the belly and slowly you're sliding your forearm back to the elbow. And then you're in the middle again. So you never let go. You never lift the arm off the leg, either side. And then again, draw your belly up, slide from elbow to hand on the left side, hand on the thigh or knee, and then push into that side and lift the rib cage and turn just a little bit. So stretching all those intercostal muscles between the ribs. And then slowly slide back to the elbow and you're back to the center. And then again, sort of rock the tailbone down toward the chair like you're anchoring yourself. Bring your hands back on the tops of the thighs and then push yourself up to seated. Walk those knees together. Good. Now with the rib cage, this is again getting into the intercostals and these lower back muscles. We're going to make a little, imagine that your diaphragm or your belly button is going to spin in this kind of a direction. So you're going to kind of undulate your middle, go slow. Don't fling yourself. You can get into trouble with that. These are your lower posture muscles, your lower abs, your quadratus lumborums, the psoas, all of those muscles like right in the center of our bodies. And see if you can go a few times in the other direction. So this undulating motion can be really nice if your back is feeling stiff. You're making that circle that's horizontal to the floor. Good. And then come into the center, cup the knees with the fingertips, lift the heart, slide the hands back, do a back bend, arch the spine. This is our cow position. Exhale back to the knees with the hands and tuck the tail under into your cat position. Now you do what feels best for you, but if you want to stay in the position and breathe, that works one way, or you can start to go back and forth. You can inhale into the cat and exhale into the cow. Make sure that you're rolling on your pelvis. Your sit bones are rocking forward. Your sit bones are rocking backward. That is what's going to keep the body, actually the whole spine, moving into these two shapes. When you are finished, inhale, go into the cow, arch the back. That's our last one. And then just relax into center and just take a second just to feel maybe an enhanced awareness of how you're holding yourself up. Okay, so from here, we're gonna, yeah, let's stand. We'll do our hip opening standing up. And I can keep my eye on the time here. So those of you that do the, I don't know when it is now, but the class where you do the circuit class, the position that is on the floor, two positions that you are really good core in that are plank or forearm plank, right? And bird dog. Now, because we're not trying to get down and up a bunch of times from the floor, we're going to actually try to do plank and bird dog on the chair today. Now, plank is also a shoulder strengthener. So I'm going to bring my chair to the front of the mat here and remove this sweater. You might feel warm from this practice because it is building heat. We're building that like fire. Remember, we talked about fire in the abdomen. That's where those muscles are. Step up and let's go ahead and reach the arms nice and over the head. So find your grounding in your legs and open up and try not to arch. Lift the belly, send the tailbone down. We're also trying not to tuck under. As you exhale, sweep the arms out and find a bent knee position and bend over until you find a chair. Now, remember your cat and cow. I'm going to take a step back from the seat so I've got a little bit more space. Soft knees, lift the tail, drag the arms back. You're going to keep your hands where they are, but pull the elbows back a little bit. There's your cow. Exhale, tuck your tailbone slightly toward the back of your thigh. Look at the legs and round the back into cat. Now that you have more movement here, because we're not sitting on our rear end anymore. So you actually can swing the pelvis into an arched position, into a rounded position. Just do that 3 times, just nice and slow. I'm wondering in your body today, which one feels better? Does it feel better for you or more natural for you to be in the cow? Does that feel like your normal posture? Or does it feel more normal for you to be in the cat? If you tend to be an overly flexible person, cow is going to feel more natural. If you tend to be tighter, cat is going to feel more natural. So one more time, go into cow. And from cow, let's feel like we are making the crown of the head is going to point straight toward the wall in front of us. The tailbone is going to point straight toward the wall behind us until we make a straight line with our spine. Now, at this point, you probably can feel that it's straight. If you're curious, you can always do this beside a mirror and look and see what is straight exactly, because you want to be able to feel that that is nice and neutral. I'm zipping up my lower abdomen again. I'm going to take a step back with both feet. I'm going to bring my hands on the front edges of the front outer edge. So I've got a little bit of room here. The back of my chair is in front of me. Now, if you have a kitchen chair and the back is really high, you're probably not going to want to reach for it, but you could reach for the side of it, okay? Up here, mine is pretty good height-wise, but if yours is way up here, I don't want you going that high. I want you going below your shoulder. So just play around with the arm reach. Reach one hand out, touch the side of the chair. Keep your feet body's distance apart. Push with your hand that's low, push down. Slightly pull with your hand that's elevated and press your hips back. This is just activating some of our muscles in the side body in a different way. Every time you move your limbs, make sure your belly's engaged. Don't let your belly hang down while you're moving. Okay, do the other side. Left hand pushes on the seat of the chair. Right hand goes to the side, and we're going to just very slightly, almost like you're trying to spin your chair. Don't actually spin it, but we're just activating the right side waist and the left under the shoulder blade muscles. Okay, now bring both hands back under the chest. Roll the shoulder blades down. Take your right foot, go back behind you with the toe on the floor. Keep your belly lifted. Look at this chair seat. Feel free to soften the standing leg if that's better on your hip. And we're going to see, can we lift up that right leg any amount? Press evenly on the two corners of the chair seat. And then bend the knee, step back under you, and take some steps in place. I'm just lifting the heel, bending the knee forward. My hips are doing a very nice sway side to side, just like if you were walking or climbing the steps. Okay, back to center. My feet are actually in the middle of the, under my pelvis. My inner toes are touching there. Get your back straight, left foot back, lift that zipper line. Any amount, lift up that leg. You don't need to go any higher than your hip. Definitely don't go higher than your hip because that will make you arch your back more. Swing it down, land it, and a little bit of a swing with the pelvis from side to side. Let the hips sway. Be sassy about it. Let them really, almost like you're over exaggerating that side to side motion. This is trying to stretch those muscles deep, deep in the outer thigh and hip. And then back to the center. Okay, now we're going to try to do both, not both legs, but both arm and leg. So let's take the right toe back and just put the ball of the foot on the floor. And then first choice would be to slide your left hand out to the back of the chair. This is option one. Just stay here, lift the belly, don't arch. Option two would be to try to lift that right foot off the floor. Option three would be to slide your hand up the outer side of the armchair, the back of the chair, and hold on. I'm still looking down at the ground. I'm not looking at my hand forward, trying to make myself really long like I am an elephant caught mid-stride. And then bring the foot down first. Balance with the hands in that position. Feel stability. Slide the hand back down. And all four limbs are on the support. A little exaggerated hip sway, a couple times. This is our natural movement in our groin, our knees, our ankles, and our leg, our hips. So it's a good thing to do in between sides. Find your strong back. Left foot, ball of the foot steps back. Keep it on the floor. Right fingertips to the back of the quarter of the chair and stop there. So either you're caught mid-stride with all four limbs on the floor, or if you want to try to lift, can you lift, use the muscle at the top of the back of the thigh to lift your leg up, slide your hand up the back of the chair, and pause there. Stable chair, stable pelvis. And then slide down, step out, slide the hand down, and walk. Walk and pause. So right, it's my left knee is forward, my right hip is hiked up a little bit, and just feel that. Your pelvis is slightly turned to the right. Slowly transition to the other side and stop. Should actually feel really, really nice, hopefully. and then transition into the center and stop. Okay, let your pelvis shift just slightly past your hips. That doesn't make any sense. Your feet, your pelvis past your feet. So you get a hamstring, and then we're gonna walk shoulders forward, step forward. Knees can touch the chair if you want some stability. Get your upper body up and transition your hands onto your legs. Draw it like you've got a little fishing weight hanging off your tailbone. Let that hang down. Be in chair position. Pull that belly in. And then as you're ready, stand up slowly. Let's take, my feet are together. I'm going to separate them again and stretch up with the arms. Just a nice soft lift and out and down. And then reverse it. Go out and up and down just to get the whole upper body kind of in that motion. And if your arms get tired from that, you can shake out your hands, shake out your arms. Good stuff there. Okay, so that was our version of bird dog, right? Really, we call it elephant instead of bird dog. Now we're going to try plank. Now the only issue with plank, and I'm having an issue right now, is it's going to put a lot of pressure on the heel of your hand right here. So do this only if you are not worried that that's going to hurt your hands or your wrist. Now, it is safer generally on the chair to hold the side of the chair, not to put the hands flat like you would on the floor. It's not very easy to get down on your forearms on the chair. It actually is kind of an awkward position, so we're not going to try that. But I'm going to wrap my hands around the side of the chair. And for me, I would generally tell you to put your thumb on top. My thumb is killing me right now, so I'm going to hang it off the edge. And I'm going to do that with both hands. I'm going to see if it works. I haven't actually done it like that before, but we'll see. Something's telling me that might be better. Okay, now take a teeny step back, shoulders down the back. Find that nice front body is pulling in and up. Shoulders are down. Take another step back. Heels reach back. Take another step back. Heels are probably slightly off the floor. You're taking more weight into the hand. Take another step back. Balls of the feet are on the floor. Heels are absolutely lifted off the floor. Push into the heel, but then bring your body into a straight line. See if you can. If it's hard on the shoulders, draw the elbows in and back toward your waist. And feel the front of the body pulling in and up, the back of the body pressing down toward the heels. When you start to get tired, you're going to do the same thing you just did. Push your booty up slightly, a little step forward and stop. Start with your other leg, step forward and stop. One more time, first foot steps forward and stop. Actually, go one more. My feet are going to go under the seat. Other step, foot steps forward and stop. Okay, brace the shins. Put your forearms across the back of your chair. Don't push it backwards. I'm going to give it a little pull toward me, actually. I'm going to see if I can't bring my forehead down on the back of my hands. Now, if that is too far down, my chair back is pretty low. You can just lift your head up and not put it all the way down. I'm going to get my back straight, straight, straight again. Nice deep stretch there. Take a couple of breaths. It's just a supported forward fold. Before you try to move your arms at all, again, make sure your belly is engaged. Bring your hands back to the seat. Take a tiny step backwards so you've got some room. And let's stand up in one motion. Get a little deeper and push up to standing. Nice and strong. And then again, you're just going to take a few steps in place. Okay, I'm going to turn and face you guys. Now this is a side bend. It is a balancing side bend. So if you're concerned about your balance, you can step behind your chair. I'm going to put mine a little to the side because you're going to need to see what my feet are doing. And you can't even see my feet right now. Okay. And now you can't see my head, but you guys know what my head looks like. It's okay. I'm going to take my right foot, which is this side, and go across in front of my left. And the chair for you would be right in front of you, okay? Now, my foot is going to either be close to the other foot, which is going to be more challenging to balance. The heel is reaching out, the toes are reaching in. My shin and calf are sandwiched front to back. Or if my balance is really not great and I want to put my feet further apart, cross it over further, and your pelvis kind of goes in between the feet. Yeah. So you decide what feels best for you here with your knees and ankles. Okay, the leg that's elevated, I got to make sure I'm doing this right. Is it this way? It's this way. Okay, so the leg that's crossed over, let that arm go up over your head. The other hand, if you want to hold the chair, you can hold the chair, maybe slide it across towards the bent knee or let go. And we're going to move in the direction of our fingertips. Right fingertips to the left, left fingertips to the right, like a corkscrew. And we're going to reach. This is an excellent QL stretch, that low waist. You can also hang on here. Lift up your belly. Find that nice balance with your legs. Good. And then stand up again. Find your center. Swing that foot out. Be careful of your chair. Out and around and take a step behind you. Make sure your feet are still body distance apart. I've still got to hang on with my front hand is going to hold the chair. With the back arm, we're going to bring the arm up over the head again. But this time your torso is upright. You're going to stretch the front of your hip and the front of your spine. Let's inhale and bend the front knee. Raise the arm, exhale and bend, release them both, straighten the knee and bring the arm down and do it again. Inhale, my back foot is turned slightly out like warrior one and release. One more time. Upper body, very vertical. Think of your sternum being really completely vertical here. You're not tipped forward at all. Push into the back foot, reach the top arm, but pull your shoulder blade down your back. If you feel steady, you are welcome to take the other hand off the chair and raise both of the hands up, or the hands can be in any other place, lower, hips, heart, head, whatever works. Staring at a spot here that is not going to move. Good. And then as you're ready, tip slightly forward first and then step up. Find your feet under you and take a moment to notice that side of your body. That leg might feel like it is a little bit longer now than your other side. Okay, let's do the other side of the side bend. So now my left foot is going to go across in a jaunty little stance here. Toes to the center, heel to the outside, shin and calf pressed against one another, narrow or wide, you choose based on how it feels. The back leg is actually totally straight. Okay, other hand position. We're going to lift the left arm now up and over the head. And the right hand is going to just be right here on the chair or at your belly. So if you see from my head down through my foot that's crossed over, it's a side bend, right? And we're going to reach. Now keep your belly lifted. Don't twist. Purely lateral flexion here. Use your feet. Use your breath. And then lift up through that belly, come back out of it, hold on, swing that front foot around to now become the back leg, step back, back of the heel comes in and down, toes turn slightly out. Your heels should still be a little bit wide away from each other. Now the back leg is going to be, the back arm is going to be the one that raises up. So you now make that nice arc shape. With that, for me, it's my left side of my body. And then release. Hold on, or not, your choice. Lift and release. And then hold it. And if you want to do both, you can. Now, it's hard for me to see everybody, but when we're together in person, I can really tell. If to get your arms up, you have to like dump into your back. Don't do that. Just let your hands be up, but your elbows be wide. And work on lengthening the spine. Sideways long, front spine long, even the back of the spine is long. And then release. And hang on to the chair. Take a slight lean forward and then step up and stand. And now hopefully you feel more level. Okay, roll the shoulders down the back a couple times. Good. Let's actually, let's sit for just a sec. I know it's time, but we're just going to sit down one more time. Sit without leaning back in your chair and notice how you are aware more of how you're holding yourself up. So your homework for the rest of the day is to pay attention to how your posture stays and all of the different things that you're doing, especially putting on your shoes, loading and unloading your dishwasher, picking up your pets, picking up grocery bags, loading the trunk. Like what Phil said, any movement where you are going from one leg and turning and doing something on the other leg, that is where we get into trouble. So you want to feel like your abdominal muscles are like a corset, that they hold you in and it makes you feel steady and solid and stable. Also getting dressed, putting pants on and taking pants off is another one of those things where you have to be a little bit weird and asymmetric. So just pay attention for the rest of the day and see, are you using your stomach muscles or not? Okay. All right. Big breath in. Open up, gathering that breath into the chest. Releasing up and out and all the way back down to the center. Very nice. Thanks for sharing your morning with me. Namaste.